with you. Happy Star Wars Day. Woohoo!
And not only that, but May the 420th.
Yes.
420, that is.
May 4th, 20 be with you. Right. Welcome back, OGs. Thanks for tuning in to our awesome stream tonight. I'm super looking forward to it. DJ Disko Klown, sup? Thanks for sharing and joining us. Lots of love to you, brother. And of course, as always, we're going to be talking about some crazy stuff, some interesting articles that we've gone over and that we've each shared and talked about. So, Sarah, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, this is one of the things that I talk so frequently with people when I bring up CBDs and they're asking me about it is, what about gun ownership, right? And people get so hung up, and there are so many crazy things happening with regulations that are like tying people up with their gun ownership rights, having to do with medicinal marijuana or CBDs or anything having to do with hemp or cannabis in general. And so I thought it would be a good topic to talk about. I put a few articles up on the newsfeed. And so if you were able to catch those, you're going to know what we're talking about. But even when when I was talking to Cisco, he brought it up with me. And Carly, even when I was talking to you, you had questions. And so tonight we're just going to go over what happened and where we are and where we should go from here, hopefully.
Perfect.
Yes. So were you able to catch up on the articles that we put up, Car?
I was, yeah. I read the cannabis and gun control policy. Mm-hmm. That one was pretty interesting to me because I think it's 22% of all firearm sales take place between unlicensed sellers. So how are they going to even be able to regulate that? How are they going to be able to even tell? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. And it really is dependent upon the state's laws for people in general sense to go and what is okay to go and buy it privately or at a gun show or anything like that, or if you have to have a background check or you have to have certain things in. And I know on a federal level, you have to fill out a background check and they want you to, but really it comes down to what the state says and what the state laws for gun ownership and purchasing are. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, 22% of gun sales aren't even federally regulated in a sense. Wow.
But you could just as easily walk up and go into a pawn shop and purchase a handgun from the owner of that pawn shop without ever having to do any type of a background check or anything, correct? Or would they still have to do the federal check your background?
They have to fill out the paperwork, but then it's about their due diligence and like, are they actually filing and are they doing that and like actually following through? So and it really depends on the dealer and who you're dealing with. And it's important, to know who you're dealing with, especially with things, as touchy as cannabis and as touchy as guns, things like that. I wouldn't just go down to the park and purchase a gun, nor would I go down to the park and purchase cannabis. So I'd like to know where that's coming from and that it's been handled properly and is safe for my needs. So,
right.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, there's a whole history behind, like, I could tell you a little bit, there's like this whole history behind this conundrum that we're actually in right now. And it starts like way back in the 60s, like all of the regulations and laws that have been passed and like overlap each other have really created this hurricane for us now where we're struggling to figure out, where are we with federal regulations and how can we live within the law, because we all want to be law-abiding citizens. We're not all out criminal Hard Rock Cafe, but it starts back in the what's that?
Speak for yourself.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Speaking for myself, sorry. Generalized.
Hardcore.
So in 1968, they had passed the Gun Control Act, right? And it stated that it's unlawful for a user of controlled substances from purchasing or owning a gun, right? Just point blank, if you're using controlled substances, right? So then in, let's see, In 1970, they passed the Controlled Substances Act, and it expressly lists marijuana as an illicit drug, right? And fast forward to like 2011, and we have a number of states who have passed recreational and or medicinal laws, and now gun owners are kind of pressing back, as is usually the way. And in Nevada, we have a person who files a lawsuit and challenges that ban on gun ownership for people who are legally registered for cannabis use or using it legally as a recreational within a recreational state. And so that lawsuit goes all the way to, let's see, I think it was the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. And they decided that the ban does not violate Second Amendment rights and that it can stay in place. Now, that's 2016 when the courts made their decision. Now you come into 2018 when we passed the Agricultural Improvement Act, where CBDs become deregulated, and we're able to use hemp, and we're able to use those kind of things. And so it starts to come down on a federal level. And so now we're kind of like in this flux and ebb, and like ultimately on a federal level, okay, regardless of what your state says as far as medicinal, recreational, CBD, hemp, marijuana, cannabis in general, regardless of what your state says, the federal guideline is that cannabis at all is an illegal illicit substance, as I think it's Schedule 1 substance. And that regardless of what your state says, that you can be charged federally. So when that appeals court made that decision, the ATF, the alcohol, firearms, did I say that right? Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, explosives. The ATF adds a very specific question and warning to the application that's supposed to be filled out. I think, hold on, it's the firearms transaction record, and it's form 4473. And so they added this question. It says, are you an unlawful user or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance? And then they also added the warning, the use or possession of marijuana remains unlawful under federal law, regardless whether it has been legalized or decriminalized for medicinal or recreational purposes in the state where you reside. And so they added those two statements to the form specifically in order to be very clear that, you know, federally marijuana is still not okay, and that, you know, you will be prosecuted for it. So, and then basically where it ends up being right now is that regardless of your state's law, it falls to federal guidelines. And if you are to fill out that form and knowingly mark that question, no, I don't do that, and then you are later on found in possession or cultivation or anything having to do with marijuana, then there could be additional perjury charges, aggravating factors to the connection of a firearm, you know, all sorts of things can happen on the federal level, and you're looking at up to 10 years and hefty fines, and that's all coming down from the federal level, regardless of what your state says. So, and that's where we are right now.
That's why you always want to write your legislators.
Yeah, no, and that's like, that's the whole all of this is like, write your legislators on this, on the city, county, state, federal, write all of them. You should always be advocating for your rights, letting your elected representatives know what you think, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with me. You know, let your elected officials know what you think for sure. And, you know, so it's very interesting. And like right now, I mean, this is all happening like a year or two, whatever, a little bit ago in the past, recent past. But in the very recent past, like since 2020, you know, we've had the pandemic hit, and medicinal marijuana and CBD and cannabis industry has been listed as an essential service, you know, and that's
I'm really curious too, because now that they have opened a couple dispensaries here in Utah, what's the process now to go about getting your legal, you know, as you can legally statewide get all your papers covered? Like, what do we know what the process is for that yet?
In Utah, yeah, there is a process, and like it is a process. Like we could definitely talk about that maybe Thursday when we go
Next
on.
show? Yeah.
Let's talk about that process and what that process looks like in our undisclosed location.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll talk about that on Thursday. But yeah, there's definitely a process, and it's a confusing one. And I've had a lot of people approach me and information on where to go, what the right things are. Don't
Yeah,
get them Googled.
I'm very curious about that as well. So definitely keep us posted. Do a lot of research, which I know you love to do.
I know, I do. I really do. It's a little
Were
disgusting.
you talking did you reach on that other one about gun ownership and marijuana use? The USSA carry, the one that we were talking about earlier.
Oh,
Did you?
yeah. Everything I've been telling you is a conglomeration of like several articles and things that I've pulled together so that I could get a clear understanding of where we are and what we're doing. But yeah,
Okay.
like being regulated as a illicit drug, like on the same level as like heroin or cocaine or anything like that. Um, but then also, you know, being
Uh-huh.
being an essential service is a hypocrisy. It's a hypocrisy and it's a fallacy in our legal situation here, and we need to
It's
we
okay.
need to figure that out. We need to deregulate, and there's like gun ownership is just one little piece of the foundation.
Yeah.
Um, but there's also a lot of different things like um, the banking industry that are like being held back, and then even in Utah where we could go get there's like our permits or our license prescription. Um, there's still a bunch of things that are being held up in our state legislation that make it difficult, or so it's just one of these things where we're in a very tenuous position as end users, and like as people who want to be following the law, as CBD users or as medicinal patients, we're trying our best to be within the law, and like the goal is to not be breaking any laws. And like we don't want to be breaking laws regarding gun rights. We don't want to be breaking laws, regarding driving under the influence, anything like that. And we're trying our best to do our parts as citizens and as end users to live within the law and to do what we're instructed to do to have those prescriptions and permits. But also to, we want to live within that law, but we want that law to work for us. And,
Yeah.
we don't want it to hold us back in our basic rights. And I honestly feel like, I mean, everybody who knows me knows how I feel about like alcohol. And I honestly feel that if you're allowed to own and operate a gun, if you consume alcohol, and alcohol for me is just a more dangerous substance than cannabis is in almost every regard. And I would much rather have a cannabis user with a gun than an alcoholic with a gun, or someone
Yeah.
who's 10 or 2 times past legal limit. So I don't know, Carly, how do you feel about it? I talk a lot, huh?
No. No, I love hearing you talk. I think it's very informative. But I still, the thing that I'm curious about too is that if you have your hunter safety license, are they still going to allow you to have a medical marijuana license as well? Is my biggest question, I guess.
So
If
I think, and this is a really great question that I would love to, when we talk about um, the process of getting registered, I would love to talk to a QMP, or if anybody knows somebody. I know we're connected with a lot of different organizations. If anybody else has a better idea, but I'm sure that if you have your medicinal license,
yeah.
and you go to purchase a firearm, you can be denied at that point for the purchase of that firearm because you are a medicinal user. That can
Okay.
happen, but I am not sure if a QMP or a qualified medical provider or a doctor or anything like that would be required on their ends to check if you're not also a registered gun owner. So that's kind of a question that I can't You got me there, car.
I know they didn't really touch on any of the articles. Like they didn't really go into detail as much, but. Oh, wait, hold on. Curtis says, yes, but you can't purchase new firearms. So you can't go and have a firearm registered to you if you have your hunter safety, is basically what you're saying, I think. So that's that's crazy. That's so crazy to me. But then I don't know why most people in this case already have guns. Maybe they're like passed down from family members or something, and
or maybe like someone that they're like in a relationship with or lives in a household with them owns a gun. Does that affect their right?
And so now do you have to say when you go in, like, oh yeah, every time you go in for your hunter safety card, oh, I also have a medical card as well. Like it's weird to me that it would make it that way, that it would seem that possible.
And the laws are just very ambiguous. They're very ambiguous. They're not clear, and they contradict each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our current policies are not the end. Definitely, we have a lot of work to do, and to do that work, you write your legislators. And I did make a post on how you can contact your representatives on every single level. So you can find that in the news feed, and I will also be putting it up on a blog that will be on this subject. So,
okay. Yeah. And I'm also talking to Cisco. He was here for a second and then he dropped off, but he's rejoining right now. So he's just waiting for his system to reset and get set back up. But
awesome. We'll be excited to hear when he gets back. But do you have any other questions? Does anybody else have any other questions? Should we give Curtis a water bottle for having the answer to the question I couldn't answer?
Yes, most definitely. That would be amazing. Know that it's going out to you, buddy. I'm looking forward to it today, though. So let's see if I can get him to come on.
Okay. And I can just, reiterate the point how important it is for you guys all to reach out to your legislators and let them know. And always try to do the right thing. I do not recommend just filling out that form and saying, no, I don't know, I never would do that. Always be truthful on those forms, because you never know when they're gonna come bite you in the ass.
They always seem to. It always seems to happen. But also, you guys don't forget to check out our website, ogcannabisproducts.com. Go check out our shirts and stuff. We're always repping.
Yeah. We've got some interesting things up on the blog, and we've got some new stuff coming up on the blog. We're going to be we're going to be creating a new section where you can check out all the videos that we put out. So check it out. It's pretty interesting, pretty fun.
Very nice. What in the world?
That technology. There's always something, right?
Definitely. But also, I was going to say, we have a pretty cool show coming up, like for the next month or two. I think.
Oh my gosh, we've got a lot of really incredible musicians coming on. A lot of incredible musicians. I think we've got, is it Anna O'Connor coming on with us on Thursday?
Ooh, and Savannah Wood.
Yeah. Savannah Wood is coming in. We're also talking to a whole bunch of musicians, but we've got just a bunch of really great people. I'm so excited for the energy that's going to be on the live feed for the next month and a half. And it's just growing too. A lot of musicians are reaching out and saying, hey, I'm on.
You ready? Hi, well, welcome back.
There he is.
Oh, and he's gone again.
Well, it's okay. We'll get him back again.
His poor internet. It's probably like, what is going on? Cisco, you're up. You're on, dude. Just go. You got this. I'm ready for it.
They're so tired of hearing us talk.
Before we begin.
Okay, you want me to go on and play music now?
Yes.
Or...
Yes. Tell us who you are, how we can find you on the interweb. Introduce yourself.
Give us
sorry about this stuff.
Oh, it's
I'm
okay.
Disko Klown. You guys can find me on Facebook and Disko Klown as DiskoKlown. I'm literally the only one in the world spelt with a K, Disco with a K, Clown with a K. You can also Google that and I will pop up. That's the cool thing about that name. I looked it up for times and figured out I was the only one with that name.
That's a pretty cool name. I like the K.
Yeah.
And I'm here to throw down some music for you guys. How long would you like me to go down play for?
Thank
We
you.
can go, I don't know. What do you think, Carly? 20, 30, 40, 50? Really, you can go for as long as you feel it. We'll be feeling it with you.
Let's touch base at about 8, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope my stuff don't mess up on you again.
I hope not. Thanks, DJ Clown. Disco Clown.
How's that?
Perfect.
That's awesome. I wish I had lights at my house.
Oh. I love his OG backpack.
Oh, look at that. I didn't see that.
Just one big cannabis family.
Yeah! Oh, we
Oh.
lost it. Oh man, it was getting so good too.
I know. I love that song he was playing.
That was
I
so
love that
good.
one.
I know. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's a
Yeah.
nice vibe. You can vibe to that.
Nice little family vibe to start it off.
That is too bad on his end. That stupid internet connection. That was only like 2 minutes. It was not that long
No.
at all.
I know. Should we see if we can give him a second, see if we can get back?
Yes, and also check out his Venmo, and hopefully when you when he does come back on, we'll be able to continue on his show. If not, maybe he can give us some videos or something where we can give him some love. Shout out.
And you know, when we open back up in our undisclosed state, I know he plays, I want to think it's Tuesday night. It's almost every Tuesday night. But he plays locally a lot.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to go to one of his events and shoot a live video for you guys when he's like at serious party mode, because that's
going out live. Yeah, we love seeing you guys perform live. So if we're like, hey, throw on some OG stuff, perform, and we're gonna take your picture. We love it. We love seeing you guys perform. It's awesome.
Yep.
We had, when we first started this, I was like, you know what, everybody has like a CBD company right now. Like everybody's all going crazy about CBD. Let's bring something different to the table. And we decided our love for music and all of our musician friends would be a good combination to bring the two worlds together. And what do you know? Worlds collide. And we have all these amazing artists and performers and just amazing people that we know that we get to share your beautiful message and their music with the world, and figure out what's going on with CBD and talk a little bit about CBD and how we can do what we do in Utah and how to do everything.
Yeah, definitely. And other places
yeah.
too.
Oh, he's back. You ready? Welcome back.
I really hate technology.
That's okay. We just weren't ready to let you go.
Yeah.
I was only one track. I didn't even finish the second one.
Yeah. Come on, buddy. Come on back.
All right.
One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together.
Woo!
I think next time I'll try to broadcast through my webcam.
Okay.
Come together. Come together. Come together. Come together. better go far. And my daddy told me, you're the girl that I need. But all you do is bring me down to my knees.
Oh, Mary brings us all to our knees.
You make me bad. Ooh, baby, I'm a good man. But you make me bad. You make me bad. You make me bad. Bring out the devil in me. Yeah, your loving it's got me crazy. Bring out the devil in me. I sold my soul to be with you, baby. Bring out the devil in me. Yeah, your loving it's got me crazy. Bring out the devil in me. I sold my soul to be with you, baby.
I love it.
Take my money, leave me out in the rain. I love you, I would have to be insane. There's nothing that I wouldn't do. I'm an angel, but I'm a devil with you. I'm a good man, but you make me mad. Ooh, baby, I'm a good man, but you make me bad. You make me bad. Bring out the devil in me. Yeah, your loving got me crazy. Bring out the devil in me. Bring out the devil in me. Sold my soul to be with you, baby. Bring out the devil in me. Yeah, your loving got me crazy. Bring out the devil in me. I sold my soul to be with you, baby.
He's gone.
I was
Oh
having
man,
such a good time.
it's the disappearing DJ.
The mysterious disappearing clown.
He comes in, he goes out, he's in, he's out.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
I sold my soul.
You just gotta drop right there. Drop it and then pop it and lock it and then wait for him to come back. Yeah, that's the party. Enjoy this Monday night. It's the 4th. 2 and 2. After running down Texas, what's up? Yeah, that's a DJ's cat. What's up, Sarah? want to put where you're watching from, where you're reading from? Go ahead, throw it up on the comments.
No.
Enjoy this cool disco music. DJ Disko Klown. And check us out.
Here's the sum total. One day, controlling this city. One day, nothing but this. Now we get started. Because we got the street. Can you dig it?
I definitely love to see it. Can I go ahead and put that right now?
Here's the sum total. One day, controlling this city. One day, nothing but this. Now we get started.
I love it. I love it.
I say the future is ours. Can you dig it?
The future is ours.
The future is
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Because we got the street. Can you dig it?
Sad. Sarah says she loves it. Yeah. Nice transition. That was
For
great.
quarantine and everybody out there in the city trying to be together.
Word.
What's up, everybody? How y'all feeling tonight? I need y'all to do me a favor. When we're dancing,
stand 6 feet away.
You have to dance like this. Make sure everybody's smiling. I love it.
6 feet.
We're live. We're just having to
Stand 6 feet away.
what's up, everybody? How y'all feeling tonight? I need y'all to do me a favor. When we're dancing,
stand 6 feet away.
Backstreet Boys.
It's really happening right now.
Love it.
Oh my God, we're back again. Everybody, everywhere. Don't be afraid, don't have no fear. Don't think the world they understand. As long as there be music, we'll be fine. Yeah.
It's so high.
Oh my God, we're back again.
What is it exactly? Playing to see I'm all cleaning you out and satisfactory. Put it out. What is it exactly? Playing to see I'm all cleaning you out and satisfactory. Probably something that shouldn't be going on. Honestly, I thought that I would be good, but I don't know. Bury the hatchet or bury the fun, bro.
Listen.
Need to make it my art and make it was art.
It's like a super Billie Eilish song.
Why do you keep it from me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go? Why do you keep it from me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go? Why do you keep it from me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
Don't forget to check him out, you guys. All our OGs, Disko Klown. Check him out, Venmo. He's a great guy. We love you. Lots of love coming your way. Hey, will you come DJ at my barbecue?
Really hang out. Yeah,
Come DJ at a party for me.
why not?
I don't think why not. Thanks for watching, you guys. We love each and every one of you. We're not going to go over an hour. I already promised her we wouldn't go over an hour. My timer's going off. Thank you again, Cisco. You're amazing. You play.
Thank you for being here with us, Disko.
Yes, it's amazing. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into our live stream this week, Monday, May the 4th. Be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. And we want to thank our very special guest, DJ Disko Klown. He's
Also
amazing.
Cisco Flores. Oh my God, that was so amazing. I just had so much fun.
That was the coolest jam session ever. He's amazing. Thank you so much. I love his music. I love the way he transitions and everything.
It was so much fun. Yeah, we're gonna have to go to one of his shows. He plays locally, so you guys look him up on Google. Check out his music page, Disko Klown with K's.
Yes.
Yeah, and don't forget to check for some changes on OG Cannabis products. We're going to be posting all of our videos.
There you go. All right. One last time.
Thank you, Cisco.
Thank you, guys. I apologize for all that glitchiness.
Oh, it was fine.
It happens. It's okay. We're still working with technology, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you again.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yep, no problem.
And once again, I will get a hold of you, Sarah, about that drink I was telling you about.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Shoot you his information.
Awesome. Oh, will you please? Yeah, send us his information. I'd love to have him on the show, too.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yes, please.
I will let him know.
All right. Well, thanks. Have a good night, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thanks, OGs, for tuning in. We love you. Thanks for being a part of the journey. Until Thursday, which we have a very beautiful, magical, musical guest, don't we, Sarah?
Oh, my gosh. Take your breath away. Anna O. She's going to be performing for us.
Beautiful.
She's just mystical, magical, wonderful. I have been enchanted by her. So she's going to be joining us, and then I will get it together on information for the process of how to become a legal cannabis card carrier. Card-carrying barbarian.
That one is going to be on our Thursday show. So then maybe we can get some information gathered by that point. And if anybody else has any comments, questions, concerns, please feel free to write to your local legislator.
Yes, always. No matter what it is.
Yes.
Write your legislators and let them know you're concerned.
Yes.
We will be putting the blog post up. There is information in the news feed. If you want to check it out, I recommend that you do. Always advocate for your rights, no matter what you feel your rights are.
You're a person too. Don't forget that. We're all people trying to be people together in a very people world.
Well, I'm glad I get to be a people with you.
I'm glad I get to be a people with you, with everybody. Thanks everyone for tuning in and joining us. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye, guys.